So where we got a little disconnected, I was saying that the pandemic that we're facing now with the coronavirus is forcing international cooperation and national cooperation. We all have the same goal, we're all faced with the same threat, and that's what's happening with our global climate crisis. We're all in it together. Earth is our only home. We can't go anyplace else. From the Arctic Circle, where sea ice is just totally melting, the tundra is coming alive, which is organic material that has been frozen over for 1,000 years or more. As that melts and as it defrosts, it's organic material releasing methane. Methane is 80 times more potent than carbon in our atmosphere to enhance global warming's acceleration. These are tremendous threats, and we need to get on the stick. Now, I started talking about the redeployment, employment, and training program. So how are we going to do something like that? It sounds so big. So it's basically establishing a national database where everyone has an input who wants to voluntarily do this, where you put in their natural traits and talents as well as their skills. Now, when I say natural traits and talents, someone may be a painter, house painter, but they're very good with colors or music or sound, but that's not something they're making money on. Let's say it's kids who are very good with computers and using their hands real quick. They may get a job in a restaurant. So this national database not only puts all person's skills in, but it also puts in their natural traits and talents that may be used in more practical ways for needs of businesses. One of the problems now is that we have a lot of jobs that are are going without being fulfilled by businesses because they don't have the skilled people to do it. So we need training. We need redeployment. Like I mentioned, the armed forces doesn't fire their soldiers when the battle's over. They redeploy them elsewhere. They retrain them elsewhere. So how do we get this database going? So this information goes into the database. So in the 1950s, Jay Forrester, he was a professor at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He developed the field systems of the field of systems dynamics modeling in order to help management comprehend the long-term consequences of employee hiring, inventory, market needs, and other crucial factors. The program, this was in 1950. The program incorporated information from social and physical systems, the economy, food, pollution, population, and natural resources. System dynamics has been proven so successful over the decades that it is now used in sciences such as biology, chemistry, engineering, astrophysics, and climate studies. This modeling program can really manage a national database bank for this initiative and for the mutual benefit of employers and employees on a national level. So I'm bringing this up now because with this current pandemic, there's a lot of job displacement. And we're going to need to retrain people. And also, as the world's changing so rapidly, a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs on an ongoing basis because businesses are going out of business or transforming to another business, or the whole scheme and landscape changes. And it's changing very rapidly all over the planet. We have to stay ahead of the curve and ahead of the trends. We can tell what trends are coming, and how great would it be for kids in high school to be in a training program, even while in high school, knowing, it doesn't matter whether it's white collar, blue collar, whatever, but knowing a part of industry is going to need certain skills that aren't available, and they could train for that in addition to getting their academic skills. So when they graduate, if they choose not to go to college, and not everyone can afford it, not everyone can have the desire for it, but if they can go into a well-paying job right away, instead of being on a low scale, making a very low wage, and maybe falling into the wrong path, drugs or other things, but a highly skilled, be employed in a highly skilled industry of which they have a definite training program for. That's what this has in it. Again, it's a very small book. It tells how to produce clean energy and mitigate climate change, and it's tied with an infrastructure program that has been talked about for decades and decades and decades, but we can put the funds into our roads, bridges, tunnels, our national grid, and the amount of people it will employ is huge. And these people, for every person employed, like every soldier on the front line, you have a whole backup of chefs, cooks, suppliers, uniform makers, tool makers. So it has multiple jobs in addition to just the roads, bridges, and tunnels. And it takes care of a need that we have. When was the last time you drove on a road for a few days going somewhere where you say, oh, these roads are beautiful, nice to drive on? That's not the case in this country. And the statistics are all here. There's nothing to prove because Congress has already had decades of saying, yes, this is what we need to do it now, and then, oh, we're not going to give any money to it. Well, by taking care of our infrastructure and employing people to create all these jobs, we have a good thing to jump off of one horse onto one that's healthy and going. And these people, instead of being unemployment and giving checks for money that they're not working, which they want to work, they want to do better than just a meager unemployment check, they can get a higher paying job, and what do? They'll pay taxes. So you have money coming into government to fund these programs, rather than just money going out to tide people over for a very small length of time. That's unsustainable. So again, this was written and published in 2017. It's something that is so perfect today, and it doesn't cost trillions and trillions of dollars. It's structured, it's a bipartisan program, it's win-win program, and most of all, it offers hope for our future. And that's for myself, my children, and my grandchildren. I'm 77 almost, and I'm not going to see, I hope I don't get to see any of these problems, and I hope they can be circumvented. But what kind of world is this world going to be for those that come after me? A better one. That's what I want. Let's make it so.